If I were to be starting carnivore in 2026, here's everything that I would do and wouldn't do as an online carnivore coach. And my approach is a little bit different than most carnivores out there. They're just, strict on go red meat, salt, water. My approach is slightly different, so stay tuned to find out what we get into. So first off, the basic of everything today is have the initiative and start. Just start with something. Start somewhere. We're not getting anywhere with just maybes or sometime soon I'm gonna start carnivore or whatever else it may be. Just take the initiative and actually get going on it. That's how you're gonna start your journey, because you're not gonna start your journey if you keep on sitting making excuses or saying, oh yeah, this timeline far away is when I'm going to start. First thing you need to do is put your big boy, big girl pants on and say, I'm gonna do it because I wanna do it for my health, for XYZ, whatever it may be. First step, take initiative and just start. Secondly, decide what your reason is for going carnivore. Whether that's weight loss, whether that's clearing up your skin, whether that's any other good thing that carnivore can bring. Think of it also with another lens of I'm trying to do this. Yes, I'm trying to lose weight, but overall, I'm just trying to be the healthiest version of myself. And that'll help you to stick with it, because if you put the overall health hat on, and it's like, okay, I'm trying to be the healthiest person for myself, for my spouse, for my future children, or my family, setting a good example to people around me, just to be healthier, not to be overweight anymore, not to have all these health issues, all these problems, but to be the one to actually take action and to do it is huge. And so basically decide your reason why, and then put that extra cap on of, I'm going to lose weight, but I also want to be the healthiest, or I'm going to heal my gut, but I also want to feel the healthiest I've ever felt. And then once you start feeling healthier and healthier and healthier, you're just going to be like kind of addicted to feeling good. And you're not going to want to go back to the old normal, because the old normal was not anywhere near normal. It was far from it, because we shouldn't feel unhealthy. We shouldn't feel icky all the time. We shouldn't feel sick. That is not normal. And let me break it to you, that is just not normal. So decide your why and try to be the best, healthiest version of it. And here's where I differ from other carnivore coaches or carnivore people in this space. I'm not going to tell you, for the majority of people, to just go ahead and start 2026, bang out with all red meat and salt and water, and that's it. Starting, where you are right now is probably eating processed foods, reaching for a bag of chips, reaching for candy, and having all these things. Whereas I'm not going to tell you to go ahead and do that unless you're that type of person. If you are a person that is very, I can just jump right into it and go for it, go cold turkey. There's a very few percentage of people I think can successfully do that and maintain that type of lifestyle. So if you're that person, go ahead, go full carnivore, do it. You'll love it. But for the other large majority of people, that is not where we thrive, just based on how we have like carb addictions, sugar addictions, processed food addictions, all these things that we're battling all at the same time as stripping away and going to the best foods on the planet, meat, salt, water. That's the best, of course. But if we can't handle even eating that because of these different addictions that we have, like cravings and imbalances that we need to work out. So that's where I differ. I want to find a good middle ground. I want to take out processed foods as much as I can for this person that is starting in 2026. The goal is to get you on a carnivore diet in 2026. It's not to get you to, start it at January 1st and go into it not knowing everything, not knowing what you're doing, because that's what's going to happen. It's fine. But you need to make a plan and decide what's going to best fit you and your lifestyle and just the kind of person you are when it comes to, accomplishing challenges. So that means pick your ratio of what kind of meat-based diet you're going to do, and then it's going to lead you into a carnivore diet. And so basically, you can pick either 70, 30, 80, 20, or 90, 10. And no, I'm not talking about ground beef fat percentages. I'm talking about making it a 70% meat, 30% other foods. And I mean other whole foods at best. And that's going to be other whole foods that are lower on the toxic side, that release lower amounts of plant toxins. And so there's a huge deep dive on what plants and what plant foods are more toxic than others, you can kind of go into that. But basically, I want the prioritization to be on red meat. And that would be, of course, red meat, duh, it's the best. That means any bison, elk, lamb, beef, cow, And then you could also add some minimal amounts of like chicken, so other poultries. You can do pork and you can do seafood, even shellfish if you can tolerate it, if you'd like that. But majority should be on red meat, as that's where the least amount of allergens are, close to none. And so that's where you would prioritize your whole entire diet on. And then you can go ahead and add, if you are still doing dairy, add your good quality dairy, go for whole fat or full fat or raw dairy. Raw dairy is best, as it all has the natural enzymes still intact. So I'd go there for my main carb source if I am going to do carbs. And then if I can tolerate like high quality fruits, I would try a couple of those a little bit. And then I could maybe tolerate a little bit of some organic, I don't know, you can pick your carb source, rice or potatoes. Some people do better with potatoes or rice. Knowing full well that we are going to be cutting this out slowly and over time. I'm not telling you as a carnivore to eat these foods and eat these foods in high excess amounts. Just do it in a way that kind of tapers you off and helps you to deal with the different hunger cues, the different craving crashes, the sugar addictions, all those things. This is, I think, the best way to kind of wean off of it if you're a person that can't fully commit to carnivore. One thing I want to add to that whole subject is, you're not going to like it, but processed foods means artificial sweeteners and all the other little like sweeteners that are supposed to be healthy, but they are still gut irritants, and they actually will hinder you when you're trying to fix your hunger cues. A lot of them will actually make you have this feeling or signal of being hungry when it's not the case. That's not true. So it's best to just strip out everything that's unnatural, because we make it in factories. That is not natural. And so strip that out as well. All artificial sweeteners, I recommend if you are going to go with an electrolyte to pick a unflavored, any type of sugar, no-go for sure. Because honestly, I think if you're going to make this big change, why not do it right? And that means going as natural as possible. Like, that's what carnivore should be, in my opinion. We shouldn't be trying to find shortcuts to still get these amazing results that most carnivore people get. They get that mostly because they started out doing full carnivore or going more so natural. And then if they want to in the future add those things back in, then that is of course their choice. And something that I am going to point out that might not be the best for some people. When you start out carnivore and you realize that, I'm eating all these different meats and eating a wide variety of food, but I'm still not feeling well. And this is including like processed meats, like bacon and sausage and things like that. If you are eating those things and you are going for mostly like gut health, healing overall, especially healing your hunger cues, I would suggest completely taking out those processed foods, or making like a homemade bacon where it's just pork and salt and you just kind of smoke it or cook in the oven yourself. That's a huge tip. Just making things yourself without the other sugars, dextrose, the other curing agents, the other different, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like how they cure different meats in nitrates and things like that. You'll want to keep all of that to a minimum, because again, we're going for natural. We're trying to heal our guts. We're trying to be healthy. We're trying to lose weight, trying to find our healthiest self. So that means picking the best ingredients. So if you're having trouble losing weight and you're eating all these carnivore foods that you hear people eating, bacon, sausage, different types of cuts of processed meats, deli meats, I recommend taking those out entirely, as I view those as mostly processed foods, unless you can add them back in later and see that you feel fine. And another thing that I would love to mention when it comes to starting carnivore, a lot of us who are, previous, love to cook and love to make these fun meals and dishes, always jump into carnivore doing seasonings and spices, and we forget to look at the labels and to see maybe there's sugar in some of them, maybe there's dextrose in some of them, maybe there's thickeners that can be gut irritants, all sorts of things that can hide, seed oils hide in these seasonings and spices. One thing that I really, really, really want to note is I want you to try carnivore with just salt. Yes, I said it. That is a harsh truth. I want you to try carnivore with just salt. And then later on, as you have healed and lost weight and fixed your hunger cues, then you can try to add these spices back, because essentially they are plant foods, and plants do something different to your body and your brain signals, hunger signals, than like beef would or animal fat would. Again, I don't want to overwhelm you with all the different things in carnivore and what you get to learn as you just start your journey and basically learn everything as you go. Like, I started out, I still ate like a couple of whitefish, and now I don't eat really any whitefish at all. I eat mostly fatty, red meat, and then I'll just occasionally throw in some fatty chicken or some fatty fish, or the occasional shrimp. But just having the lens switch from when I was doing more of like a bodybuilding style, so that's high protein, low fat, and like moderate carb. Like when I was doing that, switching that mindset to then coming over here to, I don't truly care about my carbs if it's coming from something animal-based, like yogurt or milk and things like that. My goal is to just eat what I think is the best foods on the planet, which would be meat focused and meat based. And then I like to have dairy in there, some cheese obviously, and yogurt. And that's because I do well with that. I've healed my lactose intolerance issue and I feel great. I don't have any of those side effects when I do add them back in. I love to add in raw milk when I can. And yeah, so that's kind of where I like to be. But I don't want to overwhelm you with all these different, like, oh, don't eat bacon, don't eat this, don't eat that. Just kind of, again, put the hat on of go for the most natural way of eating that you can, minimal ingredients, and just try to feel your best and see where it takes you. You might try more lamb than other people, you just kind of, it's a journey. It's a journey for a reason. So yeah. And if you ever need any help with finding, where you should be at, finding your rhythm in carnivore and meat-based, animal-based even, I am an online animal-based carnivore coach. Anything meat-based, really. Anything meat-based, I am your girl for all things coaching. So if you want to know more or you want to apply down below, I have my link down below. So let me know, or you can shoot me an email. I would love to have a face-to-face chat with you online just to show you exactly how my online training works, and we could see if we're a good fit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great new year, happy new year, and have fun as you enter into this new journey of carnivore.